तिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरुन् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणरघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं श्रीकृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकान्त राधाकान्त नमोऽस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। नमो महावदान्याय कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदायिने कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नामिने गौरतुषे नमः। पंचतत्वात्मकं कृष्णं भक्तरूपस्वरूपकं भक्तावतारं भक्ताख्यं नमामि भक्तशक्तिकं। श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंदा श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौर भक्तवृंदा। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, 3rd Canto, 3rd chapter, beginning from verse number 15. So, Uddhava is continuing to speak about Krishna's pastimes, and in the last few verses he explained how Lord he removed the burden of earth, which was burdened by unrighteous people. So after doing that, he has established Yudhishthira Maharaj on the throne, and he felt that still his job is not done because there are Yadavas who were also very powerful. So he also thought that they also have to be removed from the face of the earth. And this next verse describes that what was his inner thought. This verse is something which is going on in Krishna's mind. This is not spoken by somebody, but he thought like this. Mitho yadesham bhavita vivado madhva madatam ravilochananam nesham vadhopaye yanatonyo mayuddhate antaradadate swayam sma. He said that when their eyes will be red after drinking the sweet liquor. There are two types of liquor. They have sweet wine and bitter wine. So this one was sweet one because it says madhu. Madhu means honey. And they will start fighting with each other. Then only they will be destroyed because there is no other means other than this. And then it says that actually antardayate swayam sama mai uddhate, that when I will disappear, then they will also disappear. So this is what Krishna is thinking. And we already read that Krishna Chakravarti Thakur said that earth is not burdened by pious religious people, but if there is too much power manifest, then she feels unable to hold. And naturally Krishna's power manifested through these Yadavas who were increasing day by day. When more and more people were born. So too much of good things is also a problem. So it was too good that even this has to be closed. Because there always has to be some balance on earth. If everything becomes nice here, then there is not fun. There has to be some tension, some tussle going on, and this is how people progress. So that's how everything goes through a cycle. Always good people, they increase. When problem starts coming, they become relaxed. So when there is problem, then you are attentive. If there is no problem, then you become lax. This is the reason that these devatas, the demigods, they cannot progress spiritually. Because things are just so comfortable that they don't bother. And here on earth, there are problems coming one after another, so you start thinking, is there any solution to these problems? And once you think of solution, then you think of material solution and spiritual solutions. So some people, out of thousands and thousands, they take to the spiritual life. But demigods, they remain like that. So then Krishna also has to wake them up. Otherwise they forget Krishna also, then he creates some demons. And these demons go and attack them and throw them out of the kingdom. So then again they go and pray to Krishna. So that's why Kunti Devi was saying, Vipda Santuna Saswat Tatra Tatra Jagat Guru. That Bhavata Darshanam Yad Syad Apunar Bhav Darshanam. That please give me miseries all the time, because when there is a misery, then I see you, and then I don't have any material existence. So Krishna also does like this. He knowingly creates problem for his devotees. So they always remain on their toes. Cannot put the whole foot on the ground and feel comfortable. So like Bhishma lying on the bed of the arrows. Can one sleep like that? And the body is full of arrows and you have to lie down. No sleep. So he does that. That's why I say that when I give blessing, I take away the money of my devotees. And all his relatives become fed up with this person that he has no money. So they leave him. So now America is facing economic crisis. This is Krishna's blessing. The only thing is that they are not understanding it. Really speaking, they should realize. But it happens. When there was 9/11, more people were going to church than ever. Otherwise, nobody ever thought of going to the churches. After 9/11, the church attendance increased and the priests were happy. So, problems are also good. They keep you alarmed, attentive, awake. Like some mosquito comes and bites, you cannot sleep. So it is necessary, mosquito is needed. So now he doesn't want that all these nice people, all the demons have been removed and the devotees are here. So he's also removing some devotees. If demons are removed, then devotees are also being removed to keep the balance. So that more demon can now take birth and again create problem. And then devotees have to pray. This is his Leela. So he says, Tatra Anyesham Iva Naesham Sanghara Sambhavati. He says, these people, the Yadavas, they cannot be killed like other people. Because Yamaraj is not going to approach them. Yamaraj cannot approach them. He has given strict order to Yamdutas that don't go near a Vaishnava. So Krishna's family members are all Vaishnavas, so Yamdutas cannot come there. So they cannot be killed in an ordinary manner. Kintu prakarantaranaiva iti. But they have to be killed in some other manner. Swagatam aha mitha iti. So this is loud thinking by Krishna. He is thinking aloud like this. What has to be done? Madhuna ya asamyak madha tena atamra netranam. So madhu means honey, but obviously this is not just honey, maybe it is fermented honey or something. They must be making some. Why he is not calling it Varuni, but it is also possible. He is calling it just madhu, which means honey. But it could be Varuni also. Only thing is that these liquors which people drink these days, they don't taste nice. They are quite horrible in tasting, and this was good in tasting. And you drink it and it intoxicates you. So something like you have taken this bhang thandai. So that tastes nice. It's like a drink. Only thing is that after drinking, then you slowly get intoxicated. So they drank it and they were not mildly intoxicated, but it says samyak means they were completely intoxicated. So much that their eyes were red. When people drink too much, then I don't know why, but the eyes become red. Too much blood in the eyes. So that's, he says that Atamra Vilochananam, reddish eyes. That means now the person has lost all sense of discrimination. And says then they will start fighting with each other. Because when eyes are red and person is intoxicated, then the only thing working is the ego. And for fighting you need ego. Without ego there cannot be fight. So big ego, then you can have big fight. So ego is usually controlled by intelligence. And if intelligence is covered, then people can fight. So that's the solution. He says, Netranam Vivada, he says, then they will start quarreling. Tadapi esham vadharupa upayo na bhavati. And he says even this is not the means for them to die. Even if they quarrel, still they cannot be killed like this. So what Krishna is saying, Kintu ato vadhat anya eva iyan vad sadrisho natu. He says there has to be some other process, and it is not really killing, it looks like that they were killed. Because really speaking, Yadavas were not killed. How can they be killed? They are eternal associates. So therefore it says, Vadha sadrisho natu vadha. It was like killing, not really killing. Tena loka vastutastu avasyam vadhameva paraspar vadham drakshyanti ityartha. Says it is only the other people who will think that they are killing each other. Really speaking, it was a play. Like you see movies and people are shooting, somebody is dead and you also see the blood coming out, so you think he's died, he's gone. But the same person may be sitting in the theatre and watching himself. Or some play on the stage. So they don't really die, but it is like dying, and those who are seeing, they think they are dead. People also become emotional in the movies, start crying when somebody dies like that. But there is no death. Vastavam vastutastu spashtamaha. What is the reality? That reality is explained in the last part of this verse. Mayudyate antardadate swayam sama. That when I will decide to leave, then they will disappear themselves. So this was just a show which was made. That's why Krishna's pastimes are called Leela. They are not an outcome of some karma. Although it may be described like this, that they were cursed and then because of curse they died. But who can curse God and His children? It is not possible. So that is just a Leela of the Lord. They have to make it as a play. So there has to be some story. So he says that Mai udyate iman upsanjihirshau sati swayame ime antardadati. So he says, when I will make an effort or I will disappear, then these people, they themselves will desire to live. Because they don't want to live without Krishna. They are always with Krishna. And if Krishna is living, then they also live. Only thing is that the process of living was different. Krishna was also shot in the foot. And then he left. There was no need for him to live. Even if this hunter shot an arrow, why he has to live? Okay, remove the arrow and get it dressing. Go home, put some Dettol and put a bandage. So why he left? Because he has to live. He has already decided that he wants to live, and then he has to make some story so that people think that he was killed. And atheistic people especially may think that he was also killed. So that's why the hunter's name was Jara. Jara means old age. So he was shot by an arrow of old age. And then he left. After all, he was 125 years old. So he has to do something to live. So he also showed to people that, look, this is how I'm going. So many modern scholars, they say that this is just to fool people. They are saying that he left by himself, but actually the story is there that he was hunter, and Jara means old age. So he became old and he died. But to give him respect, they are not saying it clearly. They are saying it in this way. So as Krishna, he left on the pretext of this hunter. Otherwise, how is this hunter, he is seeing Krishna there and his foot like this, how can he think this is a deer? Can anybody think like this? Did he not see that there was also man there? He only saw the foot. And how can foot appear like the mouth of a deer? There is no similarity at all. And it said that Krishna was there with 4 hands, so he was not firing the arrow from 5 kilometers away. He must have been 50 feet away. So how he couldn't see? So why he could not see? Because the hunter was Jara. He was old himself. And therefore he had bad eyesight. And in those days there were no glasses. Right? This was the reason. Not that Krishna was old. This guy was old. So he has cataract in his eyes. No operation for cataract. So he made a mistake. And when he made a mistake, Krishna was just looking for this. Sometimes some people are just looking for a chance to fight. You just say something and they are ready to jump on you. So Krishna was just looking for a pretext how to leave. So this hunter came, and when he decided to leave, otherwise why he didn't go and stop them? When these people were drinking, could have stopped them, because they don't drink. They are all very pious people, who was described in yesterday's class. And they are Brahmani, they were worshipper of the Brahmanas, well behaved, disciplined, trained. So why were they drinking? And if they were drinking, why Krishna did not stop? Why he went away and sat under a tree? So that he made this play. So when he decided to leave, they also decided to leave, and then they used different technique for leaving. Krishna decided to leave by a hunter's arrow, and they decided to leave for fighting, and they are intoxicated. And they also have to make the words of the Brahmanas come true, who had pronounced a curse. So it says, Evam sanchitya bhagavan swarajye sthapya dharmajam nandayamasa suvidah sadhunam vartma darshan. So in this way, Lord Krishna, he has established the son of Dharma, Yudhishthira Maharaj, and throne in his own kingdom. And he also showed the path to his relatives, which is treated by the saintly people. Sadhunam Vartma. Sadhu Vartmanu Vartmana. This is one of the activities of devotion, to follow in the footsteps of the sadhus. So Krishna, he showed the path. What is the path of the sadhus? So what is the path of the sadhus? The way he behaved himself. Because he is the ideal. By his own behavior, he gave teachings to his people that one should behave like this. So like this Nirga, who became a lizard, and the children they saw and tried to remove, but they were not able to remove him. Then they went and told Krishna, and Krishna came and lifted him out of the well, and he turned into a king. And then the whole story was described, how the king became a lizard. And after that, Krishna was teaching to his sons that never capture the property of the Brahmanas. Otherwise, this is what happens. So, this way he was educating. That's said here, that sadhunam vartma darshan, while showing the path of the saintly people, he was very happy, because now Dharmaraj was established on the throne, and there is no commentary on this. Actually, sthapya means sthapyatva. Uttarayam dhrita puror vansha sadhva vimannina savai draunya shastra sanchinna punar bhagavata dhritaha. Then he talks about this pastime of Krishna, where he protected Parikshit Maharaj. So Parikshit Maharaj was in the womb of Uttara, who was the wife of Abhimanyu, the son of Subhadra. And everybody else was killed. All other children were killed in the battle. So only this one person was remaining, who was not yet born. So therefore he said that Puror Vansha Dhrita Uttaraya, the whole dynasty of Puru, because they came in the line of Puru. Puru was one of the sons of Yayati, who gave his youth to his father, and his father was cursed to become old. So the dynasty now depended only on this child who was in the womb of Uttara. But even that was destroyed by the Brahmastra, of Ashwatthama. Ashwatthama was so expert that he was able to kill the baby in the womb without killing the mother. So when that happened, then Krishna protected him. So he was already dead, and he brought him back to life. Therefore he says, Punar Bhagavata Dhrita. Punar means again he was brought back to life by Lord Krishna. That's why his name became Parikshit. Because he was always looking for this person whom he saw in the womb. When Parikshit Maharaj was born, and he was always observing. Whoever new person came, he would look at him very carefully. Because he saw this very wonderful person in the womb who saved his life. And he became very much attached to him. So Parikshit had darshan of Krishna even before birth. That's why he was very dear to Krishna. And that's why Krishna brought him out of the kingdom and made him hear Bhagavatam. He was a very special person. So as a baby, he will observe everyone carefully. So only when Krishna came to Hastinapur once, then he was able to recognize him, that this is the same person. Only thing is that one thing was missing, and then this was very disturbing to him, that he saw a four-handed person inside the womb, and here he was having two hands. So he was very confused, that everything else looks same, but where are the two hands? So Krishna understood this, and then he manifested two hands extra. And then Parikshit immediately jumped into the lap of Krishna. He is the person. He is very much attached to Krishna from very childhood. Can you imagine how fortunate he is? So in one way, it was a calamity that Ashwatthama is throwing this Brahmastra child in the womb. On the other side, it was also a blessing for Parikshit, because if this has not been done, he will not see Krishna. Later on, he may see, but at least not in the womb. So there is also nothing, no commentary on this. Dhrita, Hita, Dhrita, Rakshita. Then, next he says, Ayajaya dharma sutam aswamedhai stribhir vibhu sopi kshamam anujay rakshan reme krishna manubrataha. So, when Yudhishthira Maharaj was ruling, then he performed 3 sacrifices. Horse sacrifice, and this was on the inspiration of Krishna. So horse sacrifice was one very great sacrifice. Previously the kings used to do that, and horse is a representative of sun. So actually it is a type of sun worship, and it used to take 1 year to perform it, which is like 1 year of the sun, which completes.
How horse can be a representative of sun?
How? Aswa is one name of sun. So representative means like you can represent anything or anything. You take some piece of stone and you say this is God, and you worship it as God. It becomes represented. So like that. If there is some other story, I don't know, but Aswamedha is actually referring to the sun. And because sun gives power, so Aswamedha was done to gain power of the sun. And it took 1 year, because sun takes 1 year to go in the constellation of these 12 rasis. So he did 3 of these sacrifices, 3 Bhirvibhu. Sopi Kshamam Anujay Rakshan Reme Krishna Manuvrata. And Yudhishthira Maharaj, he protected the earth, being helped by his brothers and following Krishna. So he was a great devotee and he protected the earth with the help of his brothers. So he was fortunate to have very devoted brothers. Otherwise people become king and then they don't have anyone to help. They also, to be a king is also a seat of great anxiety. Because when you are in power, then all the time you have the danger that somebody is going to captivate your power, throw you out or poison you or kill you. But Yudhishthira Maharaj, he had very devoted brothers and they were protecting him and he protected the whole earth. So this is what Krishna wanted. This is what he achieved after all this killing and battle and everything happened. So the purpose achieved was that he established Yudhishthira as the king and therefore earth was happy. Shamam Anujay Rakshan, when he gave all protection to people that they can continue performing their regular duties without any fear of anything. So this, what was said in the previous verse, that Lord Krishna, he showed the path of saintly people. So this was also the path of saintly people. He established Yudhishthira and made him do the fire sacrifice, this Aswamedha, horse sacrifice. So this way he also set a standard for kings that they can follow it. So later on Parikshit also did, Janmeja also did. So this has many benefits, these sacrifices, because this is like a renewal of energy by the chanting of the mantras, and this is worship of the in charge of various systems in the universe. So they all get their food and they all get rejuvenated and then everything prospers. So as now in the modern times, the way to prosper is through economy. Everything is based on economy, and for that you produce product and you sell. This is the simple system. Whether you produce from earth or you produce from mines or you produce in the factory, but if you want prosperity, you have to produce. So therefore every country has GDP, which is just production, and then sell it. So if things are being produced and sold, then there is prosperity. But in the olden days, their principle of prosperity was not producing material objects like this. But these are also exploiting the material nature, exploiting people, and then causing pollution, all these products. And where all these products go? They are not needed so much. So at that time, the principle was to worship the deities. Deity of water, deity of air, deity of earth, sun, moon. And when they are worshipped, then they supply things naturally for people. Whatever is necessary, they give and then you have enough time. So now we are producing so much, and then we have to consume them also. Because if we only produce and don't consume, then we don't prosper in the modern economy. So we produce, so we have to spend time in producing, and then we have to spend time in consuming, and therefore nobody has time. So although now so many machines and gadgets are available, but we have no time because we also have to consume. So if you make a TV, so you have saved time. Now instead of walking, you have a car. So you travel 50 miles in 1 hour instead of spending 2 days walking. And then you come home, then you watch TV. So you have to use the TV also on video and movie or games. And then you have no time for your sadhana. Because otherwise TV will not sell. If everybody gets into the sadhana, then what will happen? There will be depression. Because devotees are not going to watch TV. They will sit down with their jap mala and chant. And they will not go out, so they don't need car. All the economy will collapse. So now the economy is based on producing and consuming, and therefore having no time. So everybody is running here, there, and no one has time for eating even properly. So that is a different way of progressing. And this was another way, doing sacrifice and worshipping God and his limbs in the form of devas. So te deva bhavayantu vah parasparam bhavayantaha shreya param avapshata. So as Krishna says that you do sacrifice, please the devas, then they will please you in return, and both will prosper. Mutual prosperity. This is called win-win system. And the present one is that only you want to win and everybody let them lose. And Lord Krishna, he was happy with this. So real prosperity is when God is worshipped. Therefore he says Krishnam Anubrata, that he was a follower of Krishna. So we have to become follower of Krishna and engage in worship. Then there will be real prosperity. And this other prosperity will come and go. Then what about Krishna? What was he doing? Then he describes this. Bhagavanapi Vishwatma Lokaveda Pathanugaha Kaman Shisheve Dvaravatyam Asaktaha Sankhyamasthitaha. Says that Lord Krishna, he also enjoyed various objects, Kaman Shisheve in Dwarka, but Loka Veda Pathanuga. He followed the path of Loka and Veda. Means he did not transgress the principles of society as well as the principles described in the Vedas. Means he did not break social custom. He followed that also. And he also followed the Vedic customs. So in every society there are certain principles, customs, rules, regulations. They may not be just some religious things, but they are followed. And then there are certain things which are based on scriptures, which are followed. So Krishna followed both of them. Loka Veda Pathanuga. And this way he remained happy in Dwarka. And at the same time he was not attached to anything. This was his speciality. Usually when you enjoy something, then you become attached to that. You like some food, nice taste, mind satisfied, creates a samskara inside. That samskara will give you desire again, I want this food. Then if you don't give, and mind is disturbed, if you give, will create another samskara and make the previous one more strong. Now you become addicted to it, that you have to have it. And if you don't have money, then steal it or get it from somewhere. So then people cannot remain normal, having control over themselves. Then they can, that's how the corruption comes in human life. Then they will be ready to take bribe also, because they need to satisfy their mind. They cannot control it. Or do some other illegal act to get money. So Krishna was not like that. He said asakta. Real enjoyment is when you don't become slave to the senses. Because when you become slave to the senses, then you are not so much enjoying as you are being enjoyed. Therefore, King Bhartrihari, he said, Bhogana bhukta vayameva bhukta. He says, we did not enjoy the sense objects. It is sense objects who have enjoyed us. Because in the process, we become old and tired. You enjoy something, you lose energy. So who is enjoying, you or the sense objects? So he says that bhoga bhukta, bhogana bhukta vayameva bhukta. That we didn't enjoy the objects, they enjoyed us. So this is a very interesting thing. That we are getting enjoyed, we think we are enjoying. And in the process, we lose our energy and we become slave. We become weak and also develop some disease, sickness of the mind or the body. And ultimately, we die. So he says, Kaman shisheve dwarvatyam asaktaha sankhya mastita. That he, Krishna, also enjoyed, but in a different manner. He was the master. And therefore he never became attached to anything. And this is what he taught, that not only that he killed demons, he also removed his own family members. No attachment. He is called Bhagavan, Bhagavan api. And Bhagavan means who has 6 types of opulences. Aishwaryasya samagrasya viryasya yasya shriya jnana vairagyasya chapi shannam bhagaitingana. So one of the 6 things is vairagya, detachment. So he was very detached. This is the amazing thing, that he was having such a big family. If somebody has few kids and one of them dies, they are so sad. He had 1,60,000 and they all died. And he was just normal. So he says that Sankhya Mastita. He was situated in Sankhya, in the knowledge. And therefore was not disturbed by any of these things. So today I will stop here. I have some problem with my throat.
In the beginning we were saying that Lord Krishna decided to leave the world in this world. But that a materialistic person could say that, oh no, it's not true because he was shot by an arrow. But you said in the commentary that it is said that it's because he decided it.
Yeah.
So, does that then also mean that...
Because after that arrow he did not die. He was still alive. And then his chariot came from Vaikuntha, he sat in the chariot and he left.
And does that also then apply to everybody? Like,
No.
no, I don't mean the chariot, but that you can see things from a material point of view.
Yeah.
That there is also a time that is decided by the Lord that we should go.
Yes.
That's what I mean. That we will go with our chariot.
Instead of 4 wheels, you have 4 men carrying you in the shoulder. At least in India, that is the custom. There is one Sher. Sher is this like a poetry in Urdu language. Shairi. They call shair, poets, and they make very nice. So this Sher says that in my life I will behave improperly only once. And he says usually I'm not like that, but once in my life I'm going to behave improperly, please forgive me, I'm asking this in advance. And he says that when I die, everybody will be walking and I will be up on the shoulders. Everybody will walk on the ground and I will be up. So he says, once I will be improper. सब चलाएंगे जमीन पर और मैं होऊंगा कंधे पर.
Instance when Krishna was shot, that time even the Jara came and folded hand and asked Krishna to forgive them. This time mentioned in Bhagavatam.
He was also liberated.
What was it?
He left before Krishna.
And about this Krishna showing this forehand to Parikshit. So the thing is that my question is also the queen Dwarka, they see Krishna with 2 hands. But then when he goes out, he has 4 hands. Right?
Not necessary.
Not necessary.
Sometimes 4, sometimes 2. Depending on the need.
Okay.
In the association of Radharani is always 2.
So that Parikshit saw Krishna because he could recognize that this was Krishna, but he was confused because he was looking a different way before, the first time when he saw him.
Yeah,
So-
Krishna was having 2 hands.
This means that by meditating on him, trying to find him again and again in every situation, his mood changed, that he could see, recognize the same person in Krishna, although he was different.
Oh, Krishna's face was same, but he was having 2 hands now. So he's recognizing he's the same person, but then he sees he has only 2 hands.
Something was different.
4 hands refer to Vaikuntha.
Yeah.
And I never thought that Parikshit died, really speaking. I thought that he has protected him by entering in the room,
It's written in Bhagavatam that he was burnt.
burned.
here also. It says Puna Bhagavatam Bhagavata Dhrita. Puna means again. Puna Bhagavata Dhrita. Drani Astra Sanchina. He said he was cut by the weapon.
So means that Ashwatthama's weapon was not being stopped, but he got the gore. But then Krishna has neutralized it by bringing him alive again.